What is up, guys? Orbital-Pilot back here once again in the world of Warthunder. This time taking to the sky in the He-162. So my initial plans for this plane was to leave it in the hangar and never fly it out. I test flew it once before I unlocked it at stock performance, saw how bad it was, and decided not to do it. But I actually turned around and thought I might as well fly it out. So this is my very first flight in the He-162, and in a way it's terrible, but for some weird reason I love it, and I can't tell you why. It's just awesome. I mean, look at the plane. I mean, it's so cool, and it's very hard target to hit because of its very small silhouette. It's especially if people have a convergence range, like Spitfires or any plane with guns in the wing, they're going to have a very hard time hitting you. So, yes, this plane is slow. Yes, it doesn't turn that well. Yes, it overheats. But I still enjoy it. And I did fly another one out after this, and I did enjoy that one. It's just an enjoyable plane to fly. I don't know why. There's planes far better than it, but there's not really a replacer for this plane. I mean, you have the Me-262, which does perform better than this, but at the same time, I like this plane a lot. So let's get into the first impressions. So when I do a first impressions video, I really like to use the first or second match I fly, no matter how bad it is. Unless it's the P-61, everybody else is having huge success with that, but I just cannot seem to get that plane to work. So that's why I did not do a first impressions on that. I may spade it out and do a full-on review on it, but not until I at least spade it. So expect that in the future. So what I like to do with this plane is I like to, in the very first part of the match, I like to go away from everybody. I like to get to about 420 miles an hour, put it at a 10-degree climb. Now that's a really shallow climb, but at a certain altitude, even with WEP, this plane does not seem to actually rise above a certain temperature. Now, I haven't tested that a lot, so please keep in mind anything I say in this video is just from my initial test. My rule is that I don't look at anything about this plane before I do my initial impressions, because this current patch, they could have changed, or there could be a glitch. So I don't like to read any specs, and I really just like to do a first impressions on what I actually feel about the plane. So the plane maxed out around 460-70 miles an hour. That's extremely slow for a jet. Now, if you've never flown a jet before, you may be thinking, you know, well, that's far faster than my prop will go in a straight line. But for a jet, it's quite slow. You are going to be one of the slowest jets in the game, if not the slowest. And when you face F-84s, you're going to be outmatched in every single way. So this is really an opportunity plane. Now, as you can see in this match, I did climb to about 3,500 meters, and I'm playing around with this Tempest. Now, this Tempest was a great pilot. Every single time I would go to dive on him, he would turn into me. So very smart Tempest pilot. So what I do right there is, instead of doing a full-on hammerhead, I just turn around. Yes, I waste speed. Yes, I waste altitude. But I had to get him before his cruisers were able to shoot me down. So some warnings about this plane for new pilots. This thing will overheat. Yes, it will overheat at all altitudes, but this plane does not seem to like sea level, like, at all. It is quite catastrophically bad at sea level. So if you do have to take off from an actual base, just keep in mind, either use WEP on and off, or use WEP and then try to get to altitude quickly, because the plane doesn't seem to overheat too bad at altitude. So as we can see, I've been flying around with WEP on this whole time. Even before this, I have not had a problem. I've been cooling down the engine, but now at sea level, I can barely maintain a red engine heat with just 100% throttle. Now, it also seems to have something to do with speed, because around 300 miles an hour, it seems to lose, or seems to, you know, gain heat faster than it can lose it. So 400 miles an hour at certain altitudes is what you want in this plane. It will keep the engine from overheating, and you'll have a much better day. So the plane is relatively fast compared to what you will be facing. Like I said, 470 miles an hour, but please keep in mind the energy retention on this thing is not great. That's why I recommend climbing at a 10-degree angle instead of a 30 or 40 like I do in most other jets. It will keep the speed high enough, and you'll lose speed slow enough so that you still get quite a bit of altitude for your climb, because you don't want to get all that speed up just to waste it with a 15-20 second climb. So let's get on to the guns of this plane. This plane comes with two German MG-151 20mm cannons. You either love them or hate them. I personally love them, but without the ammo belts, they are lacking a little bit. You don't get a lot of ammo either. I think around 240 rounds, probably a little bit more than that. I didn't actually see the full ammo counter, but as we can see, just from those little engagements, I only have 99 actual rounds left. So go easy with it. You know, you don't have a ton of ammo. So maneuverability, this plane is weird. It's not that great, and as we can see right there, my engine did turn yellow, and when this engine turns yellow, it loses performance extremely bad. Not like most other jets where you still have a little bit of performance left. No, this loses it very, very quickly, so please keep that in mind. Maneuverability is quite decent, but as we can see right here, this landing gear does rip off, so please don't put it out until you're about to land, because I rip it off. It also doesn't lose speed. At 0 miles an hour, this plane does not seem to be losing any speed whatsoever. As we can see, I started this at 300, now I'm at around, 230. That's really, really good. So, overall, I mean, I wouldn't personally career in this plane, but it's not as bad as most people say it is. It is quite effective if you know how to use it. So guys, this is my first impressions on the He-162. Yes, I crashed into a building because I did not know how to land this plane, and without a wheel, this plane does not lose speed. So, yes, thank you, House, for, slowing me down. Alright guys, so if you like what you saw, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.